Good morning, students. Today I shall continue with the select statement, and the topic for discussion today will be the filtering of data. So let's start with the filtering using where clause. The where clause can be used to perform the restrict operation on the result set returned by a query. The where clause takes one or more conditional expressions and returns only those rows which match the condition specified in the where clause. Now in the next slide, I will explain this with the help of an example. Now consider the student table as shown in this slide. This table consists of three columns: SID, SNAME and SCT. Now based on this table, you are asked to write a query to display the name and city of students who belong to the city Bangalore. That means you are going to write a query that will display the names of the students as well as the city of those students for which the city belongs to Bangalore. And for that, the query will be select SNAME, SCT from the table student, where the condition is the city should be Bangalore. That's why you're going to write the where clause, then SCT equal to Bangalore within quotation. And upon executing this SQL query, the output table lists the names and city of those students for whose city is Bangalore. That's why from this table, out of all these student names, only the student called Arpita belongs to the city Bangalore. That's why in the output table, only one student named as Arpita has been shown along with its city, which is Bangalore. Now let's come to know how to use the pattern matching operators along with the where clause. The wildcard characters percentage and underscore in association of pattern matching operators like and not like can be used to filter the records matching a particular pattern. The like keyword searches the records matching the specified pattern, and the not like keyword do reverse of it. In the next slide, I will show this with the help of an example. Now consider this table called student having three columns: SID, SNAME and SCT. Now based on this table, you are asked to write a query to display the list of students starting their name with A. Okay, so you are asked to write only those list of students whose name starts with A. So for that, you have to write the query as select SNAME, SCT from the table student, where since the names of those students has to start with the letter A, you are going to write the where clause as where SNAME like A percentage within quotation, where A is the starting letter and the percentage after A denotes any number of characters after the letter A. And upon executing this query, you will see the column names SNAME and SCT shown in the output table, which lists the names of students along with their city, but only those students whose name starts with the letter A. So out of all these student names, only Arpita, Astik and Anumita are the students which starts with the letter A but followed by any number of characters. That's why in the output table you have Arpita, Astik and Anumita as the list of the student names along with their city, which is Bangalore for the student Arpita, Durgapur for the student Astik and Bhopal for the student Anumita. These corresponding cities for these students, you can find it from this table, and the output is exactly like this. Now look at this example. This is the same question which is asking you to display the list of students starting with their name with A. But the query is different. That is, instead of displaying just the student name and the city, it is using the asterisk symbol. Now if you include this asterisk symbol, it is going to extract the values of all the columns of the table student. That is, it will include the column SID, then SName, and as well as SCity. So all the column names in the table student shall be extracted if you use this asterisk symbol. So select star from student shows SID, SName, and SCity as the three columns in the output table. So that's why for the student Arpita, since the SID is S10, so S10 comes here. Again for the student Astik, since the SID is S30, so S30 comes here. And finally for the student Anumita, since the SID was S50 in the original table, so S50 is shown here. So this query is showing you the SID, SName, and SCity for all these students whose name starts with the letter A. That's why out of all these students, only Arpita, Astik, and Anumita gets displayed in the output table along with their corresponding SIDs and the corresponding SCT. So for the same query, which is asking you to list the students with their name starting with A, here in this example, I have listed only two columns, that is SName and SCity from the table student. That's why the query says select SName, SCity from student where SName like A%. But in this query, I am selecting all the columns, that is SID, SName, as well as SCity, where SID was not present in this query because I had listed only SName and SCity. But if you are to include all these column names SID, SName, as well as SCity, you are supposed to write this star symbol because star extracts all the column names from the table. As a result, the query becomes select star from student where SName like A% in this example. Now consider this example as shown in this slide. It is asking a query to display the list of students starting with their name with the alphabet A and having 6 letters only. So for that, I'm writing the query as select star from student to extract all the column names, that is SID, SName, and SCity. I prefer to use this asterisk symbol just to extract all the column names, okay? That is SID, SName, and SCity from this table student. And in the where clause, I give the column name SName, and since the names of students should start with the letter A, so I write the where clause as where SName like within quotation, and I write the letter A because A is the starting letter of all the names, and each of these names should comprise of 6 letters only. So including A, each of these names should comprise of 6 letters. That's why just after A, put 5 different spaces, okay, as shown in this query. So including A and these 5 different spaces, it comprises of 6 letters. As a result, this query selects star from student where SName like A and then 5 spaces shall show the details of each of these students with their column names SID, SName, and SCity as shown in the output table. But the student names should start with the letter A and it should comprise of 6 letters only. That's why based on this original table, you can find out the list of students which starts with the letter A. These are Arpita, Astik, and Anumita. And out of Arpita, Astik and Anumita, which of these students comprise of 6 letters? Now for that you have to count the letters. See, for Arpita it consists of A for 1, R for 2, P for 3, I for 4, T for 5 and again A for 6. So Arpita comprises of 6 letters. That's why the student name Arpita is listed in the output table. Now come to Astik, Aastik. This also comprises of 6 letters. So the student name Astik is also listed here in the output table. Again for the student Anumita, it comprises of how many letters? It comprises of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, Anumita consists of 7 letters. So the name Anumita does not get listed in the output table. So only 2 names, that is Arpita and Astik, gets listed in the output table having 6 letters with their starting letter as A. So, and for these students the corresponding SID and SCT is also being listed. And you can find these SID values and SCT values for these students Arpita and Astik from the original table. Now consider this example. Here in this example you are asked to write a query to display the list of students not starting their name with A. So if we consider this as the original table, out of all these students, can you find a list of students not starting their name with A? Definitely you can. See, here the first student will be Tushar, because Tushar is the student which does not start with the letter A. Then the second student will be Hansika. So Hansika is another student whose name does not start with the letter A. So we can include Tushar and Hansika in the output table. Now along with the list of student names, I want to show the SID as well as the SCT for these students, that is Tushar and Hansika. That's why I write the query as select star, because star will include all these columns SID, SName and SCT to be displayed in the output table. And on doing this, the query becomes select star from student where SName not like A percentage within quotation. This is because we are going to list the names of those students which do not start with the letter A. Okay, that is, we are going to list the names of those students along with their SID and SCT, but their names should not start with the letter A. That's why we write the where clause as where SName not like A percentage. And upon executing this query, all the student names which does not start with the letter A gets displayed, and out of all these students only Tushar and Hansika gets displayed, and the corresponding SID for Tushar is S20, as you can find out from here, and the corresponding SID for Hansika is S40, which you can also find it out from here. And for the student named Tushar, the corresponding city is Aurangabad. See here. And for the student Hansika, the corresponding city is Cochin. That also you can find it out here in this original table. So this is the output table that has been generated, and with this I end my presentation here.